Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Ritual Beast deck profiles. I'm really excited for this one because this deck is an insane deck that can just go into some amazing loops to get out some really amazing cards. I've done a lot of updates to this particular deck since the last time I profiled it, and I am really excited to show you guys. So, without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out that Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name searched for every single video, getting a signed card soon in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron along with test hands. And without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. This card basically gives you an additional normal summon, which is really helpful to go into get another monster on your side of the field, so you can then start contact fusing in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda. Winda is a really awesome card, and basically what she does is hit this card in its owner's possession is destroy by an opponent's card either by battle or by card effect. You can instantly special summon a Ritual Beast monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, but it's really important that this card is not only a Spiritual Beast, but she's also a Tamer as well, which is really important for this particular deck. We then play 1 copy of Ritual Beast Tamer Win. Ritual Beast Tamer Win has the ability that when she's normal summoned, you get to target one of your banished Ritual Beast monsters and special summon it back to your side of the field, which helps you go into another contact fuse. 1 copy of Ritual Beast Tamer Lara. Lara has the ability that when this card is normal summoned, you can target a Ritual Beast monster in your graveyard and special summon it back to your field. 1 copy of Zerapicola. Piccola is really good because she has the ability that when this card is normal or pendulum summon, then you get to target a Ritual Beast or Zephyr monster in your graveyard, and then you get to special summon it back but destroy it during the end phase, which is basically an additional copy of Lara but a different name, which helps out the deck a lot. And then we play 3 copies of Ulti Kanahawk, or not Ulti Kanahawk, but regular Kanahawk. Kanahawk is really good because it has the ability that you get to banish a Ritual Beast card from your deck face down, and during this deck standby phase, after this card is activated, you get to add the banished card from your deck to your hand. So basically, it's kind of like a gold sarcophagus, which is really helpful for this particular deck. We then play 3 copies of Rapingu. Rapingu helps out the deck a lot too because it has the ability you can banish a Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck and then send a Ritual Beast card with the same type as that monster from your deck to the graveyard, which really helps out the deck to get monsters into the graveyard and monsters banished. Play a single copy of Apaleo. Apaleo helps out the deck a lot too because it's another name and has the ability that once per turn during either player's turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your graveyard, and for the rest of the turn, all Ritual Beast monsters you currently control gain 500 attack and defense, which is pretty cool to just make them gain that extra attack points. I play a single copy of the Pink Dolphin as well. This card helps out a lot too because it has the ability that you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your hand and then target a card your opponent controls and return that target to the hand, which helps out a lot to give you an additional bounce in this particular deck. We then play for the tech cards. We're playing 3 copies of Win the Wind Channeler. This card helps out to be able to search cards out of the deck because you discard this card and a Win card or Win monster to add a Win monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, except another copy itself. And also you cannot activate monster effects for rest turn except for Wind monsters, which the majority of the stuff you're playing in the deck is Wind anyways, and all the stuff in the extra deck pretty much is Wind except for a couple of Link monsters. We play 3 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru is so helpful in this deck because it's going to just immediately deal with your opponent's problematic board, especially if you go first or second. It doesn't super matter because a lot of the times you have a lot of plays to just build your board back up. Even if you do destroy your board with a Nibiru, you're going to be able to go into a lot of plays still with this card. So it's very important to play 3 Nibiru in this particular deck. And let me play 3 copies of Dimensional Shifter because we actually play out of the banish zone a lot. So this card helps out a lot in the deck to be able to discard this card and then quick effect, you can send this card to the graveyard, and then until the end of the next turn, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. But you have to have no cards in your graveyard to activate this card. But the majority of the time, you're going to activate this card right off the bat. And then this card is ridiculously powerful because it's going to hurt the opponent a lot more than it's going to hurt us. And you get really amazing plays with this particular card. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial helps out the deck a lot because it's going to send the exact Ritual Beast you need to the graveyard for your plays. 1 copy of Emergency Teleport because it's going to let you special summon a level 3 or lower Psychic monster from your hand or deck, which you have quite a few Psychic monsters in this particular deck. The majority of your Tamers are Psychic anyways, so this card is going to help out a lot just to get you an additional monster on the field. 1 copy of Gold Sarcophagus because this card is basically a search card in the deck because you're going to be special summoning stuff left and right from the banished pile, so this card helps out a lot. 1 copy of Dimensional Fissure because we again play kind of out of the banished zone, so this card really helps out. and kind of turns off a lot of other decks as well. And then we play 3 copies of Double Summon, because Double Summon is going to help us go into some really good plays in the deck. I still love playing Double Summon in my build because this card helps out a lot to be able to go into some really insane plays. It just gives you an additional normal summon, but a lot of times that's what you need, because you always are going to need a Ritual Beast and a Ritual Monster. So if you don't draw into your copy of Tamer, you don't draw into your Elder, you can actually use this card to get out another monster on your field. If you draw into like a Win, or you draw into a Lara, you can actually use this to then normal summon an additional monster. This card helps out a lot. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ritual Beast Ambush. Ambush is really, really good because it lets you target a Ritual Beast Tamer monster and one of your Spiritual Beast monsters that's banished and or in the graveyard. Special summon them in defense position, and after this card is activated, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, which just helps you basically revive those monsters back to your side of the field. And it's really, really helpful because you can search multiples of these in a turn and just activate one on your opponent's turn, one on your turn, and then you get a bunch of plays to go after your opponent with. Play 3 copies of Ritual Beast Steeds. Ritual Beast Steeds is one of the most important cards in the entire deck, because if you control a Ritual Beast monster, you can destroy monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you currently control, which usually is going to be like 4 to 5 that you're going to be able to tag out into to be able to activate this card and then be able to just destroy multiple cards on the field. And this card will board wipe your opponent multiple times because you might have 2 or 3 of them set by the time you finish combo. So this card's really important for the deck. And then we play a single copy of Macrocosmos as well, because Macrocosmos helps out the deck a lot because, again, we play a lot from the banished pile, so this card helps out a lot to just be able to send everything to banished, and it really hurts the opponent more than it hurts us too. So that's it for the traps and the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ulti Kanahawk. Ulti Kanahawk is probably is the best card in the entire extra deck. It's very, very important to actually play this card as a 3 of. For the longest time, this card was actually 1, but it has the ability, it must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control, which has to be a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast. And it also has the ability that you cannot special summon this card with other ways. You don't have to use Polymerization to summon any of your Ritual Beast monsters from the extra deck. You just contact fuse them together, which is really cool. It also has the ability you can target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards, because once per turn, you can target 2 of your Ritual Beast cards that are banished and then return them to the graveyard. And if you do, you add a Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand. And then during either player's turn, you can return this card you control to the extra deck, then target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast monsters, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast monster, and special summon those cards back, which is really helpful just to be able to put them back on the field, because you can use cards like Steeds to be able to go off into your plays. We then play 2 copies of Ulti Apaleo. Ulti Apaleo is a great beat stick for the deck because it has the ability that if this card attacks, it's unaffected by other cards' effects until the end of the damage step, and then during either player's turn, you can return this card you control to the extra deck, target 2 your banished monsters that is 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast, and special summon them back in defense position, which is really good to just get you an additional 2 monsters on the field. We then play a single copy of Ulti Pink Dolphin. This card is really good too. It can be destroyed by card effects, and then during either player's turn, you return this card you control to the extra deck, and then target 2 of your Ritual Beasts, 1 Spiritual Beast and 1 Ritual Tamer, and then you get special summon them back in defense position. But it's really good to have you as a defensive card because it can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's a 2800 beat stick or 2800 wall that your opponent's going to have to go through. We then play 2 copies of the big boss monster, which is Gaia Paleo. Gaia Paleo is really good because it has the ability that monsters special summon from the extra, or this must be special summon from the extra deck, and by banishing the above materials you control, which is 1 Spiritual Beast that's an Ulti, 1 Tamer, and 1 Spiritual Beast regular. And it has the ability that this card is summoned this way, it gains the following effect: that during either player's turn when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, you banish a Ritual Beast card from your hand, negate that card, and if you do, destroy it, which is really powerful. We then play 2 copies of Tukamoon Falcon. This card is really good too because it has the ability that you just have to put 2 Ritual Beast monsters into link summoning this card, and it has the ability that Ritual Beast monsters this card points to gain 600 attack, which can be pretty good to actually boost them up by 600 attack and defense. You can manage a Ritual Beast card from your graveyard to immediately discard resolves and get you an additional normal summon. And it also has the ability that once per turn quick effect, you can return this card you control to the extra deck and then target 2 of your banished monsters, 1 Tamer and 1 Beast, and special summon them back in defense position, which is really helpful for this particular deck. We then play a single copy of Access Code to get us additional pops. This card can be a Borreload, Boral Sword, whichever one you really want to play to be able to have you an OTK piece. But this card really helps out because you play so many different types in this build. We play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, 1 copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps, 1 copy of Cerberus to pop monsters, and a single copy of IP Masquerena, because you're going to be able to use the Masquerena really well in this extra deck because you have so many different types to go into. Like, you can immediately link some of this card during your end phase or so, or not during end phase, but during your main phase too, or after your opponent's gone into their plays, to then immediately link into it to deal with something that you need to with a Unicorn, which is really helpful. And discarding a card to the graveyard for the Unicorn is usually not that big of a deal because this card plus, or this deck pluses like crazy. But the really cool thing about this with Access Code is you're playing a Dark, Earth, Fire, more Dark, and then Wind. So the only thing you're not playing is Light. And you're not playing Light and you're not playing Water, so you can get up to 4 pops with this card, which is really cool. But you can play Boral Sword if you want to. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to play around with. I highly recommend that if you guys have not ever picked up a Ritual Beast deck, it's a really fun deck to play with. It's really interesting the way that it plays. It has a lot of loops with Ulti Kanahawk. I have done test hands of this one in the past. If you want to check that one out, you definitely should, which is really awesome the way that I did the test hands for this one. And it's a really fun deck. It's a really cool deck, and it's not super expensive. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.